First of all, super excited to be here with you guys. This is such an honor to just get to share a little bit of my story. Thank you so much. Like you said, yes, I am in real estate here in Austin, Texas. I've been doing that for quite some time, but I'm going to give you just kind of a speed round of my story that led me here. And then I just want to make it very, very clear to you guys why I'm here, what we have our hands on that is so stinking special, and then what I've experienced recently that really kind of made this all shift for me and really gave me a new perspective. Okay. And so, quick little backstory here. I've reinvented myself many times over the last, gosh, I don't know, 10 years or so. And I say that to encourage you because you can do it too. It doesn't matter if you feel like you need a whole new start or you just need to reshift your focus. It can be done at any point in time. So I taught for 12 years. And then while I was a teacher is when I was introduced to network marketing. I kind of just accidentally fell into it for a discount. A lot of people say that, but that is very, very true what happened for me. But I very quickly learned the benefits of it. And so I really dove into that. It allowed me to leave teaching when that time came for me. And I went into corporate marketing. And I loved that until the pandemic hit and I lost my job because the whole firm shut down. Again, network marketing was the reason that I didn't have to rush to go back to a 9 to 5 and figure out what I was going to do just to pay the bills, right? And so I then decided to put myself through real estate school, all while building a new business within a new network marketing company. And up until very recently, that's what I was doing. And in July, I was introduced to MWR Life. And I'm going to be very open and transparent with you guys. At first, I wasn't quite sure. I was at a place with where I was that I was burnt out. I was just kind of feeling like I was running on a hamster wheel, and there were these pain points that kept coming up over and over and over again. And you guys kind of know what that feels like, right? Where you see something and you see it again, you see it again. You're like, this is a sign, something's going on, but I don't know what to do with it, right? And then when I saw MWR, it was almost like this, like flashing light once I dove a little bit more into it of like, yes, that's the answer to these pain points, right? And so I want to speak a little bit to those because again, that's what makes what we have our hands on so stinking special. So first and foremost, being in this industry for 10 years now almost, which is wild to me. We've all kind of maybe whether you're brand new or you've been here a long time, we've probably experienced a little bit of these same things, right? One of those things being that, within a typical product-based company, which is where I've always been, there's a lot of ups and downs, right? There's a lot of things that come with shipping issues or cost changes or formula changes. And then you have overhead costs that a lot of times we don't think about, but those overhead costs eat up a lot of profits, which means, the field doesn't get paid as much. And so that can be kind of a pain point. A second pain point that I noticed was, that everything flushes and starts over at the beginning of the month. And for me, that could be a little discouraging, but when I really think about, the everyday person who is coming into network marketing and maybe never done this before, that can be something that really brings someone down, right? And I saw it time and time again. People who had all of this wonderful talent and this love for the industry and this love for the product who would quit early on themselves because of that. And so then I saw that here, like, wait a minute, the volume doesn't flush here. There's not a physical product, right? And then the third thing was that, typically there's a personal spend. And so as you're starting to build in this industry and you're starting to get your feet under you and really get things going, sometimes, it takes a minute to really get that income going. And when you're putting out a lot every month as a personal spend for products, that really doesn't always create the best ROI, right? And so for me, seeing that there was an ability here to share the love of what we have our hands on and then have my membership auto-financed, if we will, or covered within that first rank here, that was an absolute like flashing light bulb of like, do you see what you have your hands on, right? And then the last thing I'll say about that was one of my favorite things through this industry, and it from the very, very beginning was the incentive trips. Okay. I earned my very first incentive trip to Punta Cana about 9 years ago, and it opened my eyes a lot, okay, to what was out there. I had never really traveled before. Actually, I'd never even had a passport before that trip. I had gone on a cruise with my husband for our honeymoon. Back then, you didn't need a passport for those, but I had never actually gone into another country my whole life and not even as an adult. And so for me, that was such a blessing to be able to earn that. And so then I started to see, the more trips that I earned, the more there was a gap in my mind of, yes, I'm earning these trips, but I'm not seeing a lot of other people on my team earning these trips, no matter what I was doing to try to help, right? And so that being my absolute favorite part well, one of them, of this industry, right? This ability to earn these trips, see the world, travel, do these things with amazing people, and then realizing that that's literally what we have our hands on, right? And you don't have to earn it. You can literally take yourself on these trips with the most amazing people all around the world and get to experience it on your time whenever you want, whenever it works for you. That was the thing that kind of sealed the deal for me. And so you put all of those things together that solved all of those pain points I had experienced and people who I love dearly had experienced in this industry. And I knew that it was time to like really dig in and kind of go in all in with this business. But I will tell you that the big shift for me was two different things. First, being going to Las Vegas for the North American pre launch. Again, putting myself in that room. And I've been, listen, y'all, I've been to a lot of conventions, I've been to a lot of events, I've been to a lot of trainings over the last 10 years. But putting myself in this room specifically, knowing it was the beginning of something that was absolutely huge and being surrounded by people who were the most welcoming, just kind and caring people that I had met in a very long time was a moment that I will never forget. We were, standing outside welcoming people in as they were getting off the elevator. And I guess my experience in the past has just been very like, transactional. Hi, this is where you're going. Hi, this is where you're going. I can't tell you how many people stopped, shook my hand. What's your name? Where are you from? Nice to meet you. It was just a different feeling. And you might be listening, and if you haven't put yourself in the room yet with this company, you might be saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Okay, I'm being very, very serious, okay? I'm not someone who's full of hype. I don't do hype. It was a different feeling. It was just warm and welcoming and exciting all in one space, right? And then I decided to take my husband and I to Punta Cana. And that is where all of the magic happened. And I say this for a purpose, you guys. If you have yet to book a life experience, if you have yet to put yourself in the room, come to Dallas in February with us, right? And then book a life experience because there is something so different about standing in the pool with people from literally all over the world, hearing their stories, learning how they have built, learning what they are doing that just will fill your cup in ways that you don't even understand. You can sit and listen to people, on a stage or on a training all day long, but being there in that room, in that pool, in that space with like-minded people, again, who truly do want to see you win and want to share with you is a whole different level. And experiencing the heart behind the company, getting to spend time with Nuno and with Heather and with everybody that was there, it was that moment where not only myself finally felt like that confidence after again doing this over and over again for the last 10 years was like, okay, you can do this again. Like it is time and this is different. But my husband got to see that as well. And getting to see him see that excitement and getting to actually feel the culture was a game changer. I'll never forget. We were sitting in the room on day 2 and he was like, yeah, this is it. It's time. Like you've got to go all in with this. Right. And in that moment, I knew that there was no going back, that I had my hands on something absolutely amazing. It was an absolute game changer as far as like my journey here. And I really want to encourage you guys again, if you've not done it, yes, it's a trip. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's our own little incentive trip, if you will, right? But it's so much bigger than that. And putting yourself in the middle of that is going to just really make everything kind of come to life and click for you. So get yourself in the room, you guys, and really just dig into the things that we have our hands on, because trust me, it is so, so, so special. And those are the things that I know people out there are looking for between the connection and the ways to make it just feel different. People are craving that, and we have our hands on it, which I think is just absolutely beautiful. So thank you for letting me share today.